Hey friends, I'm Jennifer LaGuardia, your life coach, always here with you to be your encouraging voice. So I was talking with a friend of mine the other day about the whole concept of attracting the right relationships into your life and what does this process really mean? I had a history of being involved in toxic relationships and reached a breaking point where I knew I had to stop the cycle. But for the life of me, I couldn't understand why was I ending up in the same scenario over and over. I am genuinely a nice person. What you see is what you get. So why is it that I was constantly attracting Jeckyl and Hyde? It took me years to fully understand that it begins with healing from past wounds, being able to forgive those who hurt you, being able to forgive yourself, and critically important, getting to really know yourself, like full awareness of who you are authentically. As always, I share this with you, friends, from the most raw and authentic place of my own life experience, where this journey began for me and how I was able to heal from layers of dysfunction, brokenness I wasn't even consciously aware of for years because I was so numb to my own feelings and emotions. It happened initially through my spiritual life, prayer, meditation, and a very up close and personal relationship with God, which is my safe space, my sanctuary, the place where I always go to get clear in my head and find perfect peace, the place where I go to find courage and strength. So over a lot of long walks, just talking it out with God, pouring my heart out, and then just walk in the silence of nature, all this revelation would come to me and I would actually text it to myself, kind of like journaling. I am so happy to just be transparent with you right now for the sake of helping anyone who might be in the same scenario I was. The first revelation was this acute awareness of my own feelings. I've always been sensitive to other people, their feelings, their emotions. I am an empath personality all the way. But ironically, I was not in tune with myself. I had gotten so used to stuffing my own feelings and emotions away, the more ensnared I became within the codependent and people pleaser trap. I became numb to myself. And once the numbness wore off, it was overwhelming to the point where I just wanted to hide. I felt so vulnerable, but it was also a beautiful thing because it isn't until you embrace vulnerability are you able to really get in touch with your true, authentic self. I realized for the first time that even though it's a wonderful thing wanting to bring joy and happiness to another person's life, it is never okay to compromise who you are and what your values are. I didn't realize that self-love meant loving yourself enough to not tolerate or accept anything that dishonors this. I realized that self-love meant acknowledging you are the beautiful expression of God's love, created with purpose and significance, and you matter in this world. What you feel is worth being acknowledged, and it's worth going through the process of understanding why you feel the way you do. Friends, get to know and fully embrace who your true authentic self is, with all your quirks, knowing what really makes you happy, what inspires you, what are your values, what brings out the best in you, what kind of people bring out the best in you. And then another important thing, what's your kryptonite? What brings you down and triggers you to slip back into old patterns that no longer serve your higher good? The next thing is practicing forgiveness. So this is huge. I first want to say forgiveness is not excusing or accepting bad behavior. It's releasing that hurt off your own heart and moving on. I call this a practice because it's not always something that happens right away. Sometimes it really is a process. And I'll be honest with you, I would have to pray every day, multiple times a day. God, help me to let this go. Help me to forgive. Look, I sincerely never wish anything negative on anyone, but oh my goodness, was it ever the challenge of all challenges, sometimes walking away from the crime scene in your mind, replaying over and over all the bad stuff that happened. But what helped me was making a practice of replacing those scenes from the past with visualizations that inspired me about a beautiful future, all the things I dare to dream about again. I would make myself meditate on that and just pray for the ability to keep moving forward from the graveyard of the past and living the life I wanted to be living. I would keep praying this mantra over and over until it became a manifested reality. This prayer was, I forgive this person. I forgive myself, God. Thank you for turning this into something beautiful. Thank you, God, for showing me how can I fulfill a higher purpose out of this and help empower others with what I'm overcoming. Thank you, God, for bringing to me all that is meant to be aligned with my life and giving me the wisdom and the courage to recognize and walk away from what isn't. Friends, with all my heart, I say this to you. This powerful prayer released me from a lot of pain and infused a lot of hope in me that led me here with you today. And lastly, one of the biggest revelations that came to me was so simple, but it was buried so deep, I didn't realize. You have to believe with your entire being, like believe it with expectation that the right relationship will come to you. God desires the best for your life, capable of giving your best to others because you're living fully and authentically. Faith is the bridge between where you are right now in your journey and experiencing what you've never had before. There is no impossible. I love you guys so much, and as always, I hope to be an encouraging voice along your journey. So please follow me on Instagram or subscribe to my YouTube channel or subscribe to my podcast on Apple Music, Spotify, or Amazon Music, Awakening Hope with Jennifer LaGuardia. God infinitely bless you all and all those you hold close to your heart.